Good evening, everyone. You're listening to Red Pill 78. I am the Corruption Detector, and this is your Red Pill News with a special edition of Saturday Night Livestream. We are going pre-recorded tonight, but not to worry. I will be in the comments with you as we watch the video, and I will be commenting along with you guys. Tonight, my guest is going to be Shawn. Shawn is the unlucky fellow who was a moderator on a Facebook page that just happened to have a funny video of Nancy Pelosi posted to it. Shawn didn't make the video. Shawn didn't even actually post the video himself. He was simply a moderator on this Facebook page. So the Daily Beast took it upon themselves to locate him, track him down, and dox him to the world. Now, not before they got the help of Facebook themselves. So we are going to take a look at a couple of different articles about the situation, a couple of clips from Fox News, and then we're going to go into the interview with Shawn himself. I don't know that Shawn has done any interviews anywhere else, but I am very grateful for him to come on the show and explain his story for us today. So sit back, relax. We're going to take a quick word from my sponsor, and we'll be right back with the story. Hey guys, I just want to tell you about my new sponsor that I am so grateful for. This is Life Change Tea, and I'll tell you what, Life Change Tea is just that, life-changing. I drink Life Change Tea, and I can tell you that the taste is wonderful, and you need to listen to what this tea does. It truly is the tea that makes you go. You brew it, you let it steep, and you drink it 8 hours later, and just wow, the flavor is great, it's all natural, it's non-GMO, and it contains totally organic ingredients. The tea is not just green tea, but it's an herbal blend that cleanses intruders out of your body. There may be some side effects. You might lose a little bit of weight. You'll definitely gain some more energy. And this tea aids in cleansing your colon, which is the motherboard of your body. There's a gazillion testimonials that I can't share with you right now because people in suits, basically. With all the junk we put in our bodies every day, have you ever felt heavy? Heavy metals can make you feel sluggish and sick, and the Life Change Tea is the answer for me. You can try it today at getthetea.com. Just remember, getthetea.com. And thank you for supporting my sponsors. All right, welcome back, everyone. So, we have in front of us, this is Shawn's Twitter profile, Sports Guru FSR. I know that when I did my first video about Shawn, he did gain quite a few followers, and he also has a fundraiser that he's doing. Here is his GoFundMe right now, the Shawn Brooks Legal Action Fund. My name is Shawn Brooks, and I'm looking to raise funds so I can take legal action against the individuals and organizations who were associated and assisted in publishing that inaccurate trash article about me. He's talking about the Daily Beast there, and sharing my private information. Let's be clear here, people. This fight is about big tech social media companies sharing our private information to media outlets for the sole purpose of harming private citizens. The funds that are being raised will be for my legal defense. And he has an update here. He says, I'm not aware of the legal cost because I'm still in discussions with lawyers, so the number may change. I will keep everyone updated on the finances. Just bear with me, please. Thank you. So Shawn has raised $11,619 of his $20,000 goal. I have donated to Shawn. There are many, many anonymous patriots who have also donated to Shawn. And as he said, this is about taking action against a company like Facebook. They hold your data, and they are entrusted with that data. They're not supposed to use that data so that a rag like the Daily Beast can do a story about you and then destroy your life. There's been a lot of consequences for Shawn since they did this story and since Facebook took his information and handed it over to Kevin Poulsen at the Daily Beast. So let's take a look at an article from the Western Journal here. And it says, man planning to sue after liberal media outlet doxes him, reportedly with Facebook's help. A man linked to a fake video of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi wants to sue the media outlet that doxed him. Shawn Brooks, 34, is not alone in his outrage. A report by writer Kevin Poulsen in the Daily Beast, a left-leaning outlet, claimed Brooks created and spread the video, an allegation he denied, and made it appear that Facebook helped the media outlet identify Brooks. In response to the story, commentators questioned why a lone individual would be put in the media crosshairs and why Facebook would allegedly violate his privacy. In a tweet here from Carolyn Orr, the guy didn't break any laws. He didn't even violate any of Facebook's policies, according to the company. The doctored video is still up. In Facebook's eyes, this guy did nothing wrong, yet they just handed over his private data to a reporter? How is that justifiable? If Facebook thinks it's okay to reveal private user data to a reporter to identify someone who, according to Facebook, didn't even violate the company's policies, what's stopping them from handing over your personal data to a reporter, or to anyone else for that matter? Now, video of the California Democrat speaking was posted to a pair of Facebook pages last month. In one version of the video, the audio was slowed down, which had the effect of making it appear that Pelosi was drunk. The doctored video was also seen millions of times on Twitter. On June 1st, about a week after the video became a brief sensation, the Daily Beast devoted about 2,000 words to a piece accusing Brooks of creating the doctored video, a claim he rejects. The report also covered the history of Brooks's political opinions. Although Brooks acknowledged he is an administrator of the Politics Watchdog Facebook page, he said he didn't make or post the video, the Washington Examiner reported. Brooks, a working man from the Bronx, responded to the Daily Beast article by creating a GoFundMe page with a $10,000 goal. As of Monday, the page had raised more than $6,000. I'm looking at my options for possible legal action against anyone who was associated with and publishing that inaccurate trash article about me. I see people are wondering why I put $10,000. I'm not aware of the cost because I'm still in discussions with lawyers. This was a number I just set up. I will keep everyone updated on the finances. Bear with me. The Daily Beast did quote Brooks as saying he did not create the video, but then added this: "It's conceivable that someone else actually edited the clip, but a Facebook official confirming a Daily Beast investigation said the video was first posted on Politics Watchdog directly from Brooks' personal Facebook account," the Daily Beast wrote. The Facebook connection worried many on Twitter, as did the effort expended to identify the alleged author of a social media joke. David French says, "I'm seeing social media accounts claiming to be the person the Daily Beast outed, and he's strongly contesting the story. If the Daily Beast exposed him and got the story wrong, and Facebook helped expose the customer, then we're looking at next-level misconduct." And Caroline Orr again weighing in. So it appears that Facebook helped the reporter who wrote this story identify the person behind the doctored video of Nancy Pelosi, i.e., Facebook used its own internal data to help publicly identify a private citizen. That's extremely troubling. And of course, Glenn Greenwald weighs in. He says the justifications being offered by rank-closing journalists to justify a major media outlet having investigated, doxed, and exposed an anonymous day laborer for the crime of posting a mocking video of Nancy Pelosi are almost more repugnant than the journalistic bullying itself. Can't believe, honestly, that journalists don't see why it's so repellent to unleash the resources of a major news outlet on an obscure, anonymous, powerless, quasi-unemployed citizen for the crime of trivially mocking the most powerful political leaders. And Sam Stein says, "Can't believe some people don't think it's news to discover the actual identity of the guy behind the doctored Pelosi video. It's not just that he runs a partisan news site, posted the video to make money, it's that this story shows disinformation isn't the purview of Russia alone." Sam Stein, obviously a fake news journalist. Yashar Ali said, "I gotta say, it sets a really bad precedent when a private citizen, particularly someone who is working a blue-collar job, has their identity publicly revealed simply because they made a video of a politician appearing to be drunk. His identity offers nothing to this story." And Clint Watts, Select Wisdom, that's no irony there. "Hats off to Kay Polson. Great work. We found the guy behind the viral drunk Pelosi video." Self-congratulatory backslapping from fake news journalists. And John Levine says a hit job on a completely private citizen from the Daily Beast over a joke video of Pelosi that happened to go viral. Now, Brooks has since posted on Twitter that he thinks he could be a victim. On May 29th, Polson sent an email to my account that I only use for banking and is not associated with Facebook or my PayPal account. How did he get my banking email address? A crime has been committed here. Question now is who else is responsible, he tweeted Monday. And he added an explanation on his Facebook page. So, as many will see, that an article of me has been posted online by a left-leaning site called The Daily Beast. I'm being accused of creating the Pelosi video that went viral. I am one of the admins of the page, but I did not create the video, nor did I post it to the Politics Watchdog page. They need a fall guy, and they chose me because of my background. Yes, I made some mistakes in my life, but the details in that article about my past does not explain the full picture, and it can appear to look like I'm just some bad guy. Anyone who has had any interactions with me either online or in person must understand that I am not the person they are painting me out to be in this article. Facebook was taking heat for not taking down a video, so they made me the scapegoat of this Pelosi video, which was the final piece for the Daily Beast to throw me under the bus with their article. P.S. Details in that article are not 100% accurate. So I reached out to Shawn, and I asked him if he would be comfortable doing an interview, and he did respond, and luckily he was willing to come on the show. Now, he was unable to do it live. That's why we've recorded this previously. But, Shawn and I talk for about an hour, and, we go into his history. He's not a perfect man, but I don't know a single person who is. But just because you're not a perfect person, or because you don't agree with Kevin Poulsen at the Daily Beast, doesn't mean that you deserve to have your identity publicly exposed when you yourself have not exposed it. His full name is in this article, but it's only in this article here because Kevin Poulsen had previously exposed it. He did use his first name on his Twitter page right here, but you can't see his face. It's in profile. I would defy anyone who sees this Twitter profile to be able to identify this man on the street. So this is just a really sad commentary on where we are now in America with the media. We have outrage mobs created on a daily basis because of stories like this coming out of the Daily Beast. We have real people who are not public figures having their lives ruined because they disagree with someone in the liberal media. This is just a horrible, horrible thing. So I'm glad you guys are here. I think this is a really important story. We're going to go ahead and just watch this video real quick from Laura Ingraham on the Ingraham angle. She's going to be discussing it with a couple of talking heads here, and then we're going to get into the interview with Shawn.
And joining me now is Ben Shapiro, editor-in-chief of the Daily Wire and host of the Ben Shapiro Show, whose special episode to commemorate the 75th anniversary of D-Day is now available on dailywire.com, and it's fantastic. So, Ben, which action is more troubling here? What the Daily Beast did, or that Facebook just handed over his name because of what the Daily Beast called?
Well, I mean, I'm certainly disturbed that Facebook was handing this stuff over. You have to expect the Daily Beast to be the Daily Beast. And unfortunately, they're media outlets that, as you know, Laura, are motivated to take down anybody who happens to be right of center, no matter who they are, no matter whether they wish to remain anonymous, no matter whether all they did was just post a YouTube video. The fact that Facebook handed over the information is truly incredible. My impression was that if you're posting anonymously at Facebook, that it's not really within Facebook's purview to start handing out that information to media outlets. But I guess that isn't true.
Ben, what this really is, and we have to be really clear about this is just one more step toward silencing of opposing voices. We'll focus on the horrible aspect of doxing someone, revealing their identity. And the guy is not someone who has any money. He's a day laborer. We haven't independently confirmed every detail about him, but since the guy doesn't have a lot. And so they make him a scapegoat. But this is a warning shot, is it not, Ben? They try to go after, this program. They go after other programs, go after other websites, demonize them to silence them, especially when they're beaten in the ratings night after night, okay? So, but that's really what this is all about.
There's no question. I mean, the fact that the left, the media left, are intent on destroying all opposition, all the way down to some random guy who drives a forklift and posted a funny video of Nancy Pelosi. It just shows how vile and angry the left has become about taking out people who oppose them in any way. I mean, this is just the ultimate example of that. But as you mentioned, obviously everybody who is in the conservative media has become a target for the left, and the left will go out of its way to destroy anybody for virtually any reason so long as they do this. I mean, Craig Ferguson back in the 2000s put up a video of George W. Bush slurring his words, called him drunk, and nobody cared because everybody understood that it was just a silly video. You have a random forklift driver who does this about Nancy Pelosi and all hell breaks loose. Bette Midler today posted a brand new it's a complete piece of fake news about Donald Trump, a fake quote from him talking about how he was going to sucker the Republican Party. She posted that. I'm very much looking forward to seeing whether the media investigate her and start revealing her personal details about her life because she had the temerity to post a piece of news that wasn't true.
Oh, well, of course. But if your target is Trump, or people who support some of his policies, then it's okay. You can do anything, say anything. If you have fake hate crimes, you can do whatever you want. I want to play the Daily Beast's Noah Shachtman defending this. Let's watch.
There's a profit motive here, that you can put up a lot of these videos on Facebook. You can make a quick buck. Didn't this guy say he made $1,000?
Yeah, I mean, but look, that's not. It might have been a lot of money to him, but I don't think it was a pure profit motive. I think for him it was a matter of ideology. It was, he's a big Trump supporter. You don't need some sophisticated operation in order to publish fake news or publish a hoax that'll grab the country's attention.
The defenders of free expression always impressed, don't they, Ben?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm so glad that Noah Shachtman is out there protecting us all. When President Trump says the enemy of the people, not a phrase I'm in love with, but I will say that when you're the enemy of a forklift driver, it's not a good look.
All right, Ben, thanks so much tonight.
Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Ben Shapiro. I do like Laura Ingraham. However, Ben Shapiro's right. They have proven themselves to actually literally be the enemy of the people. This guy was just a person. And people can sometimes forget that in this crazy world that we live in. We are all people on the other side of the screen. We have to be kind to each other. We have to respect each other. And that's one of the things that I have always tried to get across. I would never do a story about Kevin Poulsen except for the fact that he made it newsworthy. Besides being a journalist for the Daily Beast, Kevin Poulsen was a prior felon who committed crimes against the United States of America. So in covering this story, it is actually a newsworthy item to discuss the history of Kevin Poulsen. Sean Brooks, on the other hand, posted something on social media, and Kevin Poulsen made him the story because he didn't agree with his politics. It is a disgusting display, and the point of his editor that you don't have to have a sophisticated network. No, I think that's really what they're upset about. The fake news media has been in total control of absolutely everything that we have consumed for decades. And now in today's world, you and we are able to put out information directly to each other and for us to consume, much like President Trump on Twitter. I did have one more thing I wanted to show you before we get into the interview. This is a video that President Trump had posted, a different video of Nancy Pelosi, and the press made much of the same comment about this video as they did about the video that was on the page that Shawn administered. This is a video that's it's like chopped up, so it shows all these segments of Nancy Pelosi stammering throughout her speech. Now, the only reason, in my opinion, that it's chopped up is so that it's not quite so painful to watch. But it gets the point across, and it shows you the way that Nancy Pelosi is in the public square. Nancy Pelosi seems to have some kind of a difficulty speaking publicly. I've commented before. Before this video even came out, I suggested that Nancy Pelosi might have a drinking problem. But let's go ahead and take a look at this video, and we'll see why the press was so upset.
We had a little took a little longer on the floor. Custody of the border. Everyone, he started sending signals. The U.S., Mexico, Canada. If that's not the accurate category, some people call it after NAFTA. Some call it NAFTA 2.0. Working together to make past that. Not. If we're the three things. We're very busy people.
Okay, last time I checked, this is 3, not this. It was worse yesterday. We played another clip. She could not put a subject with a predicate in the same sentence. What's going on?
Obviously, I'm 76 years old. She's a couple years older than I am, and we all age a little differently. My sense is she has a very big job. I think she's getting worn down. She always was very neat, very proper. I think she's very inarticulate, which she's never been in the past. And I think to a certain extent, she needs to kind of step in the background and not be out front as much. And she shouldn't be the point person leading the Democrats.
Is she speaker in name only now, being actually controlled and whipped by her own sort of radical branch of the Democratic Party?
Well, it's a split party, and certainly the young, dynamic Democrats who want to impeach this president don't go along with her. She is she's sort of the old guard, and I think this is the whole Democratic Party. They got Biden and everybody else that are way over the hill running for president. She certainly would be perceived as over the hill at this point in time, as probably I would be too. But at the end of the day here, my sense is she should not be out there doing the kinds of things she's doing. She will diminish herself and diminish her membership.
This is what hubris does to you. Nancy Pelosi has aged. Nancy Pelosi has outlived her prime. It's time for Nancy Pelosi to step back, but because she has an ego the size of California, she's unable to admit that. She is unable to relinquish power. The time has come for Nancy Pelosi to allow someone else to step up and take on the leadership position. Everyone at a certain point needs to retire, and for Nancy Pelosi, that day is long past. All right, thank you very much for joining us tonight, guys. Thanks again to Shawn for allowing me to interview him, and we're going to get into the interview right now. All right, everyone. Joining me right now is Shawn, the gentleman who was unfortunately doxxed by convicted felon Kevin Poulsen from the Daily Beast with the help of Facebook. Really horrible situation, but he was kind enough to join us today for an interview so we can talk about the situation. Shawn, thank you so much for coming on the program.
No problem.
Excellent. So, Shawn, can you just tell us maybe a little bit about yourself so that the audience can get to know you?
Well, I'm a 34-year-old African-American guy living in New York City. I support Donald Trump. I've been I believe like over the years that I always had a conservative mindset, even before like the whole Trump was president. I actually liked Donald Trump, the businessman too. Kind of admired him growing up, you know, the way he run his business and his straightforward attitude. And so it was interesting when he became president. It was like, wow, like, you know, because I remember a couple of times he said he was going to run, but he didn't. Mm-hmm. He was like testing the waters, but he finally ran and he won. But growing up in New York, I pretty much moved around a lot because I was in foster care because my parents had they passed away when I was really young. So
sorry to hear that.
I ended up in the foster system, and I got moved around a lot. But so I've seen a lot of stuff. I've seen a lot of how the system eats you up and how the system doesn't care about minorities and how they treat just people, period, that don't have money, you know. And so I was in a bad spot. I was always fighting. And I feel like that you see like every day, like people who are just fighting, like the average person trying to work, trying to pay their bills, take care of their family. They don't want to be given handouts. They want to, you know, earn their way. And it just seems like the policies on the left always kept us in a bubble. Like when I say us, I mean like African Americans, mostly minorities.
Yeah.
And they want to keep you down, like, oh, you got to depend on us. We know what's best for you. We know. And I was always fighting. I was always going against the wave. And so, I mean, as an adult, you know, working jobs, different jobs, mostly in construction, labor, in the same place, in the same fields as, you know, other groups of people who were just getting jobs, like, because they were willing to work for cheaper labor. And all this stuff kind of bothered me because I ended up losing work because of that when I moved around. And, I mean, it just hits me hard. Like, luckily for me, I don't have no kids and I'm not married, so I don't have to feed more mouths. Or I don't know how much worse it would be for me. And, but in my community, they encourage you to, like, have kids even though you're broke.
Right.
I mean, these things I just never agreed with. And a lot of people looked at me like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You're just sucking up to the white man. Like, it's always about the white man, this white man, that. I was just so tired of excuses. So I just stayed to myself and I tried to make a living. And I mean, obviously I've had hiccups along the way, but I try to just keep moving forward, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And
well, I think that's pretty universal, you know? I mean, I don't know a single person who hasn't had trials and tribulations of many different types, you know, along the way. So growing up in New York, as an African American. So were you an open Democrat at any point, or were you just kind of a closet conservative?
I wasn't really. I wouldn't say I was never really. I never considered myself a Democrat. I'm actually a registered independent.
Okay.
On the voter registration, like I registered as an independent. I took that cue from seeing some of the. There was a few like older black people that would be on TV or talk, and being that I'm a sports guy, so when I first started getting into sports, listening to sports talk radio stuff, and there's a guy by the name of Stephen A. Smith, who I believe he's an independent. Sometimes he may lean a little bit more left, but he said some interesting things over the years. I took a few things he said. I don't agree with everything he says, but he made a point about, don't let one party have your vote. Like, always keep an open mind. And so that's basically how I took the same stance, And as I got older, into my 30s, my late 20s, early 30s, and after the failed policies of the Obama administration, I noticed that I took a look back and said, wow, I think I might be more conservative than anything. And just about, just off of the way I go about life, my thought process. And I agree with a lot of conservative things that conservative people do. I agree with it. So I figured I think I might be conservative, but I'm a registered independent, and I just hate everything about the left. So it made it real easy for me to adopt conservative values.
Well, and the thing about it is conservative values are, pro-family, pro-working class,
yeah.
Pro taking what you've got and making what you can do out of it, not relying on the state, not relying on the Democrats and their failed policies to create this, out-of-control welfare system. We're bordering on socialism right now, in my opinion. Now, one of the things that's really interesting to me is that until Donald Trump decided that he was going to run for president or started talking about it, he was a well-loved man, in business and entertainment, and I would imagine there in New York City, and I know in the black community, because you look at all kinds of songs over the years and, talking about Trump money and stuff, so what was it like? At what point did you see Donald Trump starting to become like a vilified figure, somebody that you were supposed to hate and not someone that you should emulate?
Well, I started seeing it like right before, like during the campaign, like the 2016 campaign, and it was weird because like overnight it was just, because people when they first heard it, like the left, they were laughing about it. Oh, he's not going to really run. They were trying to make a joke of it because he said he would run before, but then you hear him when Trump was talking about some of the things he wanted to do. I was like, this guy he's going to run. Like he has some things that we need to hear. Like he has good ideas. Like he's not part of the establishment. He's a business guy. He's not part of the DC, like the crooked DC. We need new ideas. And he definitely was going to run. I felt that way. But the hate, I believe, maybe it was a combination of that tape that came out and people were just telling you got to vote. You got to vote against them. You got to vote against them. But it was just weird how it just came over. It felt like it was overnight. Like,
yeah,
he went from being loved to being hate. And I was like, man, this guy, they act like the guy murdered people.
Right.
I just couldn't believe it. I was Clintons. Like, something had to be wrong.
Yeah. No, it was pretty shocking to me too. Pretty shocking to me. And when you're looking around and you're walking through your daily life, do you feel comfortable enough in New York to be able to speak up, about your feelings about Donald Trump? Or is there like an overwhelming sense of the fact that, it's totally wrong and you can't even broach the subject? Because just as an example, in my city, if I was to walk out and, you know, say, hey, I'm a Trump supporter, I did that and I lost my business. You know, every single one of my clients pulled out and no longer wanted to use me. So, you know, I learned very quickly that I should not be openly speaking about Donald Trump in the circles that were around me in my town. Are you able to be open about it now? Well, I mean, obviously now it's different, but previously, were you able to be open about it?
Not really, because I never really, like if someone come up to me, like if there was a conversation about it, like I've told people, some people, like I've had conversations, and some people kind of figured that I was leaning, you know, towards supporting Trump, but they couldn't really, you know, put a Q on it. But I never really came out and said, oh, I never wore the MAGA hat, I never wore the 2020, but I did like what sometimes with my posts on Facebook, or if someone's having a conversation and like if I hear somebody like really crushing Donald Trump to the point of like with a policy or something that I have knowledge of, I'll probably get in the conversation and say, hey, that's not really what he said, or, you know, so stuff like that. But it's really tough, like in New York City, and because everybody here is like very liberal, like, you know,
yeah,
they're just, everything is like anti-Trump. I mean, you gotta hate Trump. You're supposed to hate Trump. It's like almost a law.
Exactly. Yeah. You got to toe that party line. You know, one of the things for me personally that really clued me into the fact that Donald Trump was the guy was when I realized that absolutely every establishment person was telling us that we had to hate him, whether it was the media or other people in business, and all politicians on both sides of the aisle, whether they were Democrat or Republican. You know, I said that right there is the biggest clue that I've ever had that somebody was virtuous and that they were going to work for the people, because you know that these politicians and these business people, these bankers, they are not working for the people. So has any of the policies of Donald Trump like affected you in a positive way? Have you seen the things that he's done working in your life?
Well, I could say that some of the policies he's doing, and because it's not like an overnight thing. I mean,
right.
It takes time to really spread out, and it's really hard, especially when you're in a majority liberal city that's fighting against everything he wants done. Mm-hmm. It's really hard to see it in play. But I haven't benefited directly, but you know, you could see, like, because like I said, I'm back in New York, but I've known people that was close to me who actually that are Democrats and liberal, and they benefited from it, but they won't admit it, you know, because of what which is weird, like. But because I know a business owner, he's very liberal, and he actually benefited from the Trump business tax, whatever, and he won't admit it. He's like, oh, I hate Trump, like. So, but it's just that only thing that I wish that the immigration thing would get resolved, and it's not. I'm not blaming Trump for that. I think it's the Democrats blocking him.
Yeah.
And that's a policy that's really touched to me, because I'm in direct competition with the migrants that come here illegally,
right,
and get jobs over me. So
that's got to be tough.
I'm pretty sure maybe if I would have, you know, went to school and got a 4-year degree, I probably would have a different perspective. But I wasn't a school person, so I'm not, you know, I am where I am in my life right now. So it's not Trump's fault. It's not Democrats' fault. I just didn't, you know, progress high enough educationally to take advantage. But that's where I'm at today. So I'm just surviving.
Well, let's talk about what happened. So you were doxxed by Facebook and the Daily Caller, and they accused you of creating
Daily Beast.
I'm sorry. I love the Daily Caller. Daily Beast. You were doxxed by Facebook and the Daily Beast, and they accused you of creating this altered video of Nancy Pelosi.
And then he had a press conference in the Rose Garden with all this sort of visuals that obviously were planned long before.
And here's what politics watchdog posted on Facebook on Wednesday.
And then he had a press conference in the Rose Garden with all this sort of visuals that obviously were planned long before.
Now, not only is it outrageous because of the fact that there are doctored videos of Trump out there all the time and people on the left love them, but you know, we're supposed to be living in a free country where people can add commentary, people can speak out about their beliefs, or they're supposed to be able to. So tell us exactly what happened with this whole sordid affair.
Well, the day that the video got posted on the Facebook page, it was posted from another admin. That admin received the video and the email.
No, I'm sorry, Shawn, real quick. So this was posted on like a Facebook group that you were an admin for?
Yeah. I'm one of the admins of the Politics Watchdog.
Politics Watchdog. Okay, and we'll have that link so the viewers can go check it out for anybody who's on Facebook.
And I'm an admin for one. I'm one of the admins, and I co-created the page from the beginning with another admin, not the person who posted it, but this was another admin. So we started adding a few people over the time because it's really hard to run a page like one or two people. You got to add other people.
Sure.
So when the page started getting decent numbers, you know, I think we went over like a couple, like 10 to 15,000, whatever. So we just added more people to run the page. Mm-hmm. So this person got the email and decided to post a video. So when they posted it, I was like, wow, this is pretty funny. Like, because I was just on Twitter looking at everyone saying, is she drunk?
Right.
So that's when I asked the question, but I shared the video on a different Pelosi video on my page, my personal page. And I said, is she drunk? Like, just asking the question, you know, kind of like tongue in cheek, like, you know. So the other video, the one on Politics Watchdog, started blowing up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like with over a couple of hours. He's talking about, I was away from my computer for a while, come back. It's like a million people. I was like, what the heck's going on? And then it just blew up, and then people online were talking about it. And then all of a sudden, like, I think a day later, they started saying the video's fake, like putting out a statement saying it's fake. And they tried to reach the page for comment to find out who created it. So the lady, there was some lady that wrote an article in PolitiFact. I forgot her name. It's like a Spanish name. I forgot it.
Okay.
But she wrote an article saying that she tried to reach out to the page for comment. So I tweeted her. I said, look, now at this point, my Twitter doesn't have a clear photo of me. It doesn't have my full name. It just has my Twitter name.
Right.
So I understand the Daily Beast went on CNN and tried to say that I technically outed myself, but I didn't out myself. That's not an out. I'm just tweeting someone from my Twitter page that doesn't have my full name. I mean, I don't understand how could they say that I'm outing myself by sending this tweet when it's just anybody's name could be Shawn at that point, you know?
And it's your photo in profile, and you have a filter on it. I mean, you can't clearly see your face.
Yeah, you can't see me.
Yeah. No name, no full name.
So I told her, I said, look, I'm one of the admins, and I run like the inbox and the comments because everyone has their own duty on the page. And I said, I didn't receive a message from you guys saying that you tried to reach out, because if they would have tried to reach out, I would have told them, hey, we didn't create this video, we just posted it. You know, the page just posted, I'm speaking as the page. We don't know nothing about it. We can't help you. That's what I would have told her. But she never reached out. She just said she did. So like a few days later, everything's all, I figured it's going to die off. People are going to say, oh, it's fake. Leave it alone. So then I started getting contacted by different reporters. One particular, because the reporters were hitting my page up, the Politics Watchdog page. They were sending me messages on there, not to me directly, just to the page. Right. So they had no idea who was running the page at that point. But one particular reporter was contacting me directly. Kevin Paulson, he was sending me messages on Twitter. I blocked him on Twitter. He was sending messages on Facebook to my personal Facebook page. I blocked him. I'm like, what does he want? He was like harassing me for like about a week. It felt like, and then he started calling me. I don't know how he got my phone number.
Wow.
And then he sent me an email from an email address that's not even connected to Facebook. This email address is connected to my bank account with Chase. I have a Chase bank account. And I only use that email for banking only. I don't do nothing else with it. I never even bought anything from that on my computer or at any computer. So when he sent me a message from there, I said, whoa, how the heck did you get this email? You know? So then he, you know, he called me. I ignored him. And then the only reason why I responded back to him was because he called, I guess he interviewed my ex-girlfriend.
Oh my gosh.
She contacted, I don't know how he found her, because she's not connected to me on Facebook. I've had her blocked for years. Like, I don't even, and technically I'm not supposed to talk to her. So that's why I blocked her from communication a long time ago.
Yeah.
But she contacted me. She said, look, this emergency is important. You got to call me. So I said, what's going on? She told me some reporter was asking her questions, like trying to get in contact with her and stuff like that. And I knew that this girl is not very truthful. So I figured I had to call this guy because I want to know what the hell she said to him. You know, that was my reason of calling him. So I called him, and then he goes, hey, I've been trying to reach you, stuff like that. He wanted me to say who posted the video, and I was like, I'm not going to tell you the person who did it. I'm not going to give you that person, you know. So then he goes, well, he started asking me background questions on, like, how did I, what he said? He's like, oh, how did I come about with the page and stuff like that? Just little personal things. And then he asked me about my charges. He already had, like, my whole profile on me, it seemed like, already.
He probably did.
And I'm like, I'm trying to defend each thing. Like, you talking about the charges. I'm trying to defend that the charges are not exactly how it appears to be. I'm trying to explain the story to him. Because I feel like at that point, I'm trying to defend myself. That's why when he says he was on the phone with me for a while, yeah, because I'm defending everything that you're bringing up.
Right.
It's not like I'm having a friendly conversation with this guy. I was on the phone trying to defend me and trying to convince him that I'm not going to give up the person that you want me to give up. So he decided, this day, I think this was a Friday, he posted the article. So he was already set to post the article. He already had the article set. He already had who he wanted. When he see my background, he saw that I was supporting Trump. He figured I was a good target for his doxing. That's basically what it was. I believe the minute he contacted me, he already knew he was going to post that story. Because I think later on that day or hours later, he had posted that story. And this is after he already talked to my ex-girlfriend. So whatever he wanted to do to me, he was planning on doing it. He just needed to hear me confirm details, I guess, or whatever. Because the way he wrote that story was like it was about me. It wasn't even about the video anymore. He didn't care about the video. He just wanted to do a hit job on me because he felt that I should have never went after Pelosi. He's putting me as the guy that went after Pelosi.
Yeah.
I'm not a conspiracy guy or nothing, but I believe that being that this guy is a former black hacker and he's really good at doing all that stuff, I believe someone put him up to doing this task, and I think he colluded with Facebook because someone at Facebook probably also might be a left-leaning person, decided, I'm going to give up information and help this reporter dox this guy. Because why would Facebook? Because they didn't delete the video at first, like the official people, like the people at the top was like, this don't violate our terms. So I'm thinking somebody inside, maybe some vigilante or somebody who was probably fans of Pelosi or support the left, decided I'm going to be part of this fight and assist Daily Beast.
So Facebook did end up deleting the video after they had enough outcry from the rag like the Daily Beast?
The video was gone from the page about a couple of days ago because I wrote a post on it on Facebook, and the video was just gone. Because people kept coming to the page. They come to the page, they want to see the video. That was the reason why they was coming to the page. It's like, I want to see the video. And I said, look, the video is gone, and I don't know who deleted it, But Facebook denied deleting the video too. They're saying we didn't delete it. So I don't know what's going on.
So in a situation like that, I mean, I don't have a Facebook account, so when you've got multiple admins, if someone takes an action, like if they moderate something, do you all of the other admins, would you normally get a notification that someone had done something like that, or would you guys just have to tell each other?
Yeah, you get a notification saying that, you know, such and such removed the video. Like,
okay,
the video has been removed.
All right,
you know?
so it makes sense that it would be Facebook.
And you can
then.
see, yeah.
Now, my next question, Shawn, is have you been in contact with anyone at Facebook regarding the fact that they gave your name out, your private information out to the Daily Beast?
No, I have not been in direct contact with anyone from Facebook. Because I've been talking to legal people, and right now I'm just waiting to find out what's going to happen next, as far as because I don't know what Facebook's going to tell me. They're probably not going to tell me nothing. I mean, they're not going to admit it. I doubt they'll be like, oh yeah, we gave up your information. Like, I believe it could be one lone person there that went rogue. It decided that they was going to, you know, assist this reporter, because it's very bold of the reporter just to flat out say, oh yeah, I got the information from Facebook. Like, knowing that Facebook shouldn't do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you basically just gave up, said Facebook gave you information so to help you dox me. You know?
Yeah, it's incredible. When I heard that they had worked together to show your information, to put you out there as somebody who should be attacked, because and to make the claim that you created the video. I mean, in my mind, they performed a series of events that were designed to defame you and to wreck your reputation. Now, with the fallout of everything, has anything happened to you in your personal life or in your professional life as a result of Facebook releasing your private information and then the Daily Beast writing this article about you?
Well, I've lost some jobs. I actually lost a job the day that the video, the publish came out, when they first, because one of the women that I sometimes do work for, she I guess she's a Daily Beast subscriber or whatever, whatever they. And she read the article like later on that night. She called me. She said, "Whoa, I didn't know you was a Trump supporter. I didn't know." And then she said that I didn't know you also had issues with women. And I said, "No, I mean, like, I didn't know what to say." I was like, "Okay." Then she was like, "Well, I don't know if I can work with you anymore because it's not going to be good around other people, like the whole business or whatever." And I was like, "I mean, I guess that's your decision." And then that was like the very first thing that happened. Like, and then I started, like, I was really getting a little depressed about it. I was like, man. Yeah. And it was weird because I had no one to talk to, and I was trying to call family members, anyone who I was in contact with. No one would answer because they just, some of them, I guess they must have started hearing about what was going on, and no one would talk to me, and I just really couldn't get nobody on the phone. And then I just started losing. I lost another gig that I was supposed to, this guy I was working with doing at the hospital, and he decided he didn't want to deal with me either.
Wow.
And then I was getting threats. People were threatening me. First it started from like a bunch of like Twitter trolls, like, you know, trolls started in. And then liberals were getting in, like some people leaving messages, comments saying that I should be killed or I should be hung and all this crazy stuff like that. And one guy was saying that they should try to find me. I'm in New York City. And then I started getting hit from the black community, which was like almost 10 times worse. I'm still getting kind of hit from them, like, up to this day. It kind of slowed down a little bit, I guess, because this guy, I guess he realized he was wrong, and he took my photo off the article, I guess, like a day later. But it was already too late. I mean, you put my photo out there, and then you took it down like a day later, but it was too late. Everyone already seen me. They know what I look like. It's not hard to not miss me because I'm in Manhattan, and I wear Boston gear all the time. Like I'm draped in like either Patriots or Boston Red Sox gear. So it's very hard for people to see me or find me. And so it's just been really rough as far as like dealing with that and never knowing someone coming up to me, are they friendly or are they, someone that's trying to do harm to me. Even on Facebook, I get messages from people. I'm getting a lot of friend requests, but I can't accept them because I don't know what their intentions are. I don't know if they're trying to get in my profile so they can grab photos. And, people are doing crazy stuff now.
Yeah, they are.
So,
and this is a tactic that the left uses quite often. If you are accused of wrongthink, if you're not towing the line of the things that they think are acceptable, then they will sick their attack dogs on you. And this is also one of the reasons that I'm proud to be a conservative, is because this is not a tactic that we use. There's a modicum of decorum that is necessary in civil society. People must behave in a certain way. Otherwise, you see what we're seeing now with the left just going absolutely insane. Did you hear the story about the woman who stabbed herself the other day because she couldn't stand living in Trump's America? Like, that is right. That's a perfect example of the insanity of the left. Now, Shawn, it's my understanding that Polson made several erroneous claims in the article. Can we talk about some of those?
Yeah, well, he basically my interpretation of, he just laid out blanket statements without like putting any context behind it, like with the whole misogyny thing, because he found a post from way back, an old post of some woman that was kicking me on the train, and I was talking about how she kicked me and didn't say excuse me, and I didn't call her a B in her face. I called her a B on my post.
Sure, on
like
your private
it was like
Facebook
an afterthought,
post.
And then he, like, his whole characterization of, and then I want to talk about the domestic battery, which is a misdemeanor. It was a misdemeanor battery case.
Okay.
And because my ex-girlfriend, the one who he interviewed, that got that crazy quote from, I don't even know if she said that or he made that quote up, because I just can't believe it doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, so we got into an argument at the apartment because I was staying with her. We got into an argument, and she loves to like pick up objects and throw things at me. She's just very violent. And so we got into a big argument over, I think it was something stupid. It was like really dumb. But she doesn't like the fact that every time there's an issue, I have to explain myself to her. Like, I don't have a problem. She believes me explaining things to her is an argument, because I don't just say, oh, okay, whatever. I always want to defend myself. I'm always in a defensive mode verbally, like, because I feel like that's the only way people will hear you, if you be able to talk it out.
Exactly.
So she picks up an object, runs to my face, and swings it at, like, pretty much hits me. It was like because she was in the kitchen cooking, so I was in the hallway kind of talking, and she came out and she had like a metal spoon, and she runs up to hits me with it. So I just like pushed her out of the way. I was like tell her to stop. Like, what are you doing?
A defensive action.
So she got upset, and she decided to go for a walk. So I figured, all right, you're going to go walk it off. So she was gone for probably like 30 minutes. I'm sitting there on my computer. So all of a sudden she comes back in the house. She's in the house with the cops, or right with her. I'm like, what the heck's going on here? Like, I'm confused.
Right.
I'm in my shorts, slippers, and a tank top. I'm just sitting in the couch. What's going on? The cops come in. They're like asking me, you Shawn? I said, yeah. I said, put your hands behind your back. I said, what's going on? And it was like, she said that you put your hands on her. And I was like, I didn't hit her. Like, I pushed her out of my way because she hit me. She was hitting me.
Right.
And then, so the cop said, well, so what do you want to do? I said, well, if you're going to take me in, you're going to take her too, because she was the violent one. She was the aggressor. So they took both of us, and the other cop took both of us out to the car, and because it was like a bunch of cars showed up, like Like, it was almost like a SWAT team or some shit. I was like, you need that many cops for what? Nothing's going on here. So I was in one car, she was in the other car. And she had a prior relationship, to my knowledge, with one of the police officers. So the cop that she had a relationship with shows up to the scene. So I'm in the car, I'm looking, I can't really see what's going on. I see him, he shows up, he's talking to her, I can see from the other car. Then all of a sudden they let her out, they uncuff her. So I was like, okay, maybe this is a misunderstanding, maybe they're gonna let me out too. So the guy comes over, he said, well, we're gonna take you in for domestic battery. I said, domestic battery? What are you talking about? Like, I'm just a roommate. And they said, well, you guys used to date, right? I said, yeah. They said, yeah, so domestic battery. I said, this is BS.
Yeah.
You got to take me in? And then the cop took me, they booked me. I ended up going to jail for like 10 days or whatever. I think I did like 10 or 15 days. So she had all my stuff at the house. And she was pissed that night. She wanted to get rid of everything. She wanted to throw all my stuff out, all my computers, all my banking information. She wanted to do the works on me.
Yeah.
So I was asking her, I said, look, what's going to happen here? Because I'm not from here. I'm from New York. I don't live here. And I don't have any way to get a proper defense. So they said that, well, we could let you out. We can give you, if you take a plea deal, we'll give you, agree to do domestic violence training, domestic classes, and community service. I was like, okay, I can do that. No problem. So I pleaded guilty to domestic battery. And so I got out and I went back to New York. I had to do the training classes. Now, the training classes were 52 weeks long. And when I did the classes, I didn't know the cost of the classes, which they don't tell you that until after you find the class. And you can't find the class if you're in the jail cell. Yep. So I had to do all this. So I found out, I was like, man, in New York City, they were charging me one class, it was like $80. And then they kept raising the price to $120. I just couldn't keep up with the cost. So I did about 10 weeks or so. I think it was like 9 or 10 weeks. And then I just said, you know what, I can't afford them no more. So I contacted the lawyer out on the West Coast. And I said, look, I can't do the classes anymore. So, and she said, well, if you don't complete the classes, you're going to have a warrant out for your arrest. And I said, well, and she said, well, you could come back to California and deal with it. And I said, well, I can't come back there either because I don't have money to just come back. I got to pay bills. I got to, take care of other stuff here. And she said, well, that's up to you. And then I said, so what's going to happen? Will they come and get me? She said, no, they're not going to come and get you because it's a misdemeanor. But just keep in mind, if you do get stopped by the cops, they could hold you every time until California says they come and get you or not. Mm-hmm. So I tried to turn myself in New York. I walked into a precinct. I said, can you guys get me back to California? They were laughing like, we can't get you back to California. Like, they were like, you serious? I was like, yeah, I got a warrant out there. And they was like, well, we're going to see if they come and get you. So they called California, and the California said, we're not coming out there to get him. Not for no misdemeanor. Mm-hmm. So then I stayed in jail for a couple of hours. They let me out. So this is going to continue to happen until I go back and handle it, which I plan on doing. But I just wanted to explain that because I've gotten a lot of threats, a lot of bad comments from, like, especially the female population saying, oh, you're a wife beater, you ain't crap, you like hit women, stuff like that. And I know that may hurt like some of my support that I could potentially get from people that want to back me and they can't because they believe probably about me hitting women. And I just want to say that I have not abused women. I've never went that far. I'm not a wife beater, and I don't play that. Like, I'm against that kind of stuff, So, but I'm not against defending myself, though. I'm not against that.
No,
I believe you should be able to defend yourself.
I'm completely in agreement with you. I've been in situations with women in relationships who are the exact same way. I think it's very obvious that you were railroaded into this situation because the woman that you were involved with had previously been dating a police officer, and then he came and he helped in arresting you. That seems like a major conflict of interest to me. But I think that anybody who's an adult who has had a relationship has had at least one instance in their life where where somebody acted like a fool. So thank you for explaining that. I appreciate that, Shawn.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. So what are your plans? You're working with a lawyer right now, and you've got your GoFundMe set up. I know that after I did the show last week, you got a whole bunch of donations. I don't know if that was from me or if it was just from the coverage in general, but I'm definitely going to be including that link. So if anybody has not donated to you, then they can. But what's the ultimate goal here?
Well, the goal is I want to be able to sue, Facebook, because I believe that my privacy was violated, and I believe that they colluded to help Daily Beast dox me. Potentially, I also want to go after Kevin Poulsen because I want to find out if did this guy hack into my personal information, because how did he get my banking email to send me an email? I mean, there's a lot of things that I want to look into. I don't know if I can cover all of them because I guess it depends on what the lawyers can do. But I believe that my privacy was violated, was really violated. And this could happen to anybody. Like Facebook decide, we don't like what this person says, let's help the reporters out. And I understand that if something like this has happened, we got to know that Facebook is handing law enforcement information even without warrants, because if it's that easy, because like you gotta look at it from the other side. Like say, if someone's pro-police, right, and they work at Facebook, and cops trying to get a warrant, trying to get a sneak and peek at somebody's information. Hey, we need to know who created this page, who put this comment up. Help us out here so we can go get them, and they probably helped them out. Now, is that right or wrong? I mean, I like to think that I'm pro law enforcement. Like I support law enforcement, even though I've had legal issues. I believe that they have a tough job, but at the same time, I think that would also be wrong on the same way. Like if Facebook was to assist without a warrant,
right?
We have
a right to privacy.
I believe that it's a slippery slope that we gotta address.
Most definitely. There's also something called tortious interference. I believe that Kevin Poulsen wrote this article with the express intent to damage you and your reputation, and by extension, to damage your ability to make a living and to support yourself. It's just an incredible thing that he's done. So what I'd like to do is to make an appeal. If I do have anyone in the state of New York that watches my program and is a lawyer and would be willing to help Shawn out here, please, by all means, do reach out to him. You can get a hold of him through his email on his GoFundMe page. You can also go and follow him and tweet at him on Twitter at SportsGuruFSR. Shawn, did you want to give out your Facebook as well, and then I'll have the links to your Facebook pages in the description, or do you just not want people to approach you on Facebook?
Yeah, I'd rather just the email from the GoFundMe and on Twitter.
Okay.
Probably easier.
Great. Well, just in these last couple of minutes here, was there anything else that you wanted to tell the audience that we haven't hit on today?
I think we might have covered it. I just really wanted to stress about how important it is, that we need to keep the message on the privacy thing. Like, I mean, as people send me messages, they say that they support me, but they're more concerned about the video. I mean, the video is not the issue anymore. I mean, I think we need to move off the video and keep it about the privacy. That's the most important thing. Like, I mean, that's the issue that I need to, and I couldn't address that yesterday because I was on, did an interview with Waters World.
Okay.
And I couldn't really address that because it wasn't enough time. So that's why I was glad that I was able to come on your show, because at least I have more time to talk. But that's the main thing, like the privacy. Like that's the issue that we gotta stay on the ball with that. That's what it's important.
I totally agree, Shawn. I mean, that's the story for me here, is that Facebook gave your personal information to the Daily Beast, and then they used it to target you and sick the attack dogs of the left on you, and thereby damage you and make it difficult for you to make a living and to survive in a city like New York City. All right, Shawn. Go ahead.
I just want to say one more thing, that I believe, and media people have come out and reached out to me, but they're more concerned about the video. Like when I told you about how the video got deleted from the Watchdog page, a reporter reaches out to me and she says, we saw that you said that the video got removed, but we spoke to Facebook and they said that they didn't remove it. And I'm like, so if you spoke to Facebook, you should be asking questions about the privacy. Why the hell you keep asking, sorry, excuse my language, why you keep asking about the video? Like, what kind of reporters are you guys? You guys don't care about the privacy? Like, it seems like they're so stuck on the video. I don't get it. Like, I mean, it's just...
It's because they're interested in their own particular angle. You know, they're not interested in the rights and privacy of American citizens or the abuse of power by corporations such as Facebook or organizations such as the Daily Beast. You know, you are a private citizen. You are entitled to retain your privacy. And, you know, more importantly, you did not do what they accused you of doing. They said that you were the creator of this video, and you were not. You were simply the admin of a Facebook group which posted things about politics. So they really did a number on you. And, you know, that's why I've been covering it, is because I think it's very, very unfair about what they've done to you, Shawn.
Yeah, I mean...
All right, buddy. Well,
it's tough.
I want to thank you for coming on the show today, and you're welcome to come back at any time in the future. You know, I really hope that you do come back and give us an update on what's going on with your case. And like I said, if there are any lawyers or anybody in the legal profession that lives in the state of New York, and you would be willing to reach out to Shawn and help him with this matter, then I would so appreciate it. And, you know, we could all have everybody back, you know, once we see some progress, and hopefully everything works out for you. You know, obviously you're a good person. And I think that it's very possible that maybe there is somebody out there who lives in New York who also, you know, could be running a business, and maybe they've got honest work for you, that it's not going to force you to have to compete against these migrants that are being pushed into the United States by the Democrats and people like Nancy Pelosi.
Yes, I hope so too, and I appreciate all the help you've done. Getting the page a lot of attention, to GoFundMe, and I appreciate coming on talking to you too.
All right, Shawn. Thanks again for coming on, buddy. I really appreciate it, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, once again, I just wanted to say thank you very much to Shawn for coming on the program. I really do hope that he's able to make some movement with his case, and he's able to, you know, get some semblance of a life back. You know, the main problem, in my estimation, with the left-wing media is that they're no longer interested in reporting news. For them, it's all about activism. And that was demonstrated very, very clearly this past week or so with the new brouhaha that took place between Carlos Maza, Steven Crowder, and which ended up targeting many people on this platform here. So I have an article from Ian Miles Chong, which I wanted to read about the situation, because it shows what the left is willing to do. It's not okay to disagree with somebody anymore. It's not okay if you have a certain set of views and opinions. What is sanctioned and what is approved is only what the left-wing activist media says is okay for you to believe or okay for you to talk about. So who is Carlos Maza? Well, he's obviously an activist. He's not a journalist. And he isn't a humble journalist, nor a victim of harassment. Before the Vox Media host became the progenitor of YouTube's latest crackdown on speech, he was and remains a hard-left activist. Tim Pool wrote of him, Carlos Maza used to work for Media Matters, an activist organization. He now works at Vox doing the same thing he did at MMFA. Journalism is dead and these sociopaths killed it. Before landing his gig at Vox, Mazza was a writer and researcher for Media Matters for America, a partisan organization dedicated to the production of anti-conservative propaganda. During his tenure at MMFA, Mazza wrote breathless coverage of the Family Research Council, a Christian organization that came into the crosshairs of a domestic terrorist in 2012. Prior to that incident, Mazza, along with the SPLC, called the FRC an anti-GAY hate group and whipped up leftist anger about them. Wielding a handheld weapon with 50 rounds of ammunition, Floyd Lee Corkins II wounded an unarmed security guard before being tackled to the ground. When the FBI interviewed him, Corkins told police that he had been inspired by materials he found online that listed the organization as a hate group. After, Mazza released a brief statement expressing his thoughts and prayers to the victim. Mazza is an atheist. Following his 6-year tenure at the activist organization, Mazza has been more than eager to take up other left-wing causes. In a video viewed more than 1.8 million times, the MMFA alumnus downplayed the violence of this group right here, ANTIFA. The radical left-wing movement continues to make the news, at least in independent media, through showcases of their embarrassing behavior on college campuses, and Mazza says they're not a big deal. For a group that's getting so much airtime for being violent and dangerous, they're not causing much havoc, said Mazza, who encouraged his viewers to dismiss these reports as a biased sample of left-wing protests. And yet, 2 years later, Mazza himself called upon his left-leaning audience to commit assault and battery on far-right organizers and protesters. Milkshake them all, humiliate them at every term, make them dread public organizing, wrote Mazza in response to an assault on Nigel Farage, who was hit with a milkshake during a campaign rally. He shared an article by New Republic contributor Matt Ford, who wrote, "Why Milkshaking Works." Mazza is an activist, and he's good at what he does. His plan to topple Steven Crowder was deliberate. It didn't matter who else got hurt if one of the loudest conservative voices on the internet got taken down. Crowder wasn't banned, but he was demonetized, and other channels got caught in the crossfire. Presenting himself as a thin-skinned political wonk, Mazza's campaign against Crowder only began this week. But was he really hurt by Crowder's crass jokes about his mannerisms? Older tweets will show that the journo activist knew full well that Crowder's remarks about him were jokes. In March 2018, Mazza wrote a series of tweets in response to Crowder's remarks. And right here it says, "There's a conservative YouTuber who keeps making rebuttal videos about me making fun of my voice, and it's becoming the most serious long-term relationship I've ever had," he wrote. Mazza's profile as a journalist is higher than ever, thanks to his efforts to deplatform right-wing voices, and thanks to the mainstream media's embrace of activism, so too will his profile as an activist. We can take this power away. So this is the kind of stuff that the left has become. It's not about journalism. It's about activism. It's about deplatforming. It's about ensuring that their voices are the only ones that can be heard. I'm insecure doing this story right now. I've stayed away from this subject this entire time because it's scary to me. I don't want to lose my platform. I am not interested in making fun of or defaming people. I'm not interested in having people contact people or bully them. I'm interested in having a dialogue. And unfortunately, this is something that is no longer possible in many corners of America or even the world in today's climate. So what I have suggested many times to people when they've asked me, how did you never get banned on YouTube? How have you never been banned on Twitter? Well, you know what? I stay away from interacting with people like this. I try to stick to my own corner. I want to talk with you guys. I want to have conversations with you. But I do everything I can to not interact with people like this gentleman here, or the people on Twitter that you will see, frequently getting upset about being trolled. I don't go looking for trouble. I don't go looking for people to have arguments with. If someone reaches out to me with an olive branch and wants to have a conversation, I'll be more than happy to have a conversation. But I am acutely aware of how dangerous it is if you are reaching out and speaking to people in a particular manner. And like I said earlier in the video, the internet has turned people into the worst version of themselves. I am the person online that I present myself as. I am exactly the same person in my real life. I don't go after people online because I would never do it in person. So I just wanted to give you guys all something to think about. In the type of world that we live in, if we are to act in a certain way, if we are to go low and not stay high, then we are setting ourselves up for certain annihilation. I want to do everything I can to stay on this platform and to continue to be able to bring this information to you guys. And I hope that you can appreciate the way that I do it. Not everybody does. There are people who get upset with me for not speaking in a particular manner. But, you know, what I have to say to them is go ahead and start your own show. You know, I have my own set of morals and ideals, and I keep myself held to them rather stringently. So when it comes to the next time that you're on Twitter and you see someone crying out because they believe that Donald Trump is a horrible, horrible man with a set of prejudiced ideals or perhaps some type of authoritarian hate monger, I urge you to reach out to them with love and understanding. I ask you to think, what would Jesus do in that instance? It's not easy. It is so hard sometimes to be nice to people when faced with such utter vitriol and seething hatred. But I want people on the left to look at me and remember what it used to be like in America. What it used to be like when people could coexist and have a variety of thoughts and opinions. When people went to work and they stood around the water cooler talking about what they saw the night before, how they felt about what they saw, and how maybe they had differing opinions. Because at one time, and it wasn't that long ago, it was okay. There was nothing wrong with having opinions that were different from your neighbor, from your coworker, from your family. And today, I think largely because of the internet and social media, people have been whipped into a frenzy. We have been manipulated by the media, by the talking heads, by the politicians, by people like this gentleman right here. And you know what? I am done being manipulated. I know exactly who I am, I know exactly how I feel, and I know exactly what is going on in America, and no one is going to tell me that I am not allowed to have my opinion. This is America, and this is what America was founded on: the free expression and exchange of ideas. We all deserve the right to live in peace and harmony and to have our own opinions about a variety of subjects. So just remember that the next time that you're on social media and you're interacting with someone who has, shall we say, a lower level of consciousness than we do right here on this program. All right, guys, I think that's all I have for you tonight. I want to thank everyone for joining me. As always, this has been Red Pill 78. I am the Corruption Detector, and this was your Red Pill News for Saturday Night Livestream. Good luck, everyone, and God bless.